I'm going to show you how I built a $20,000 portfolio at age 20 and how you can start building your own that will turn into millions of dollars. I'll go over what mine is made up of, and then we'll talk about 5 steps that you can take to start building your own. Alright, so we'll go from least risky investment to the most risky investment. So we'll start with mutual funds, which make up 36% of my portfolio. If you don't know what these are investments that hold baskets of stocks so you can invest in hundreds or even thousands of companies at the same time. This makes them much safer because they are far more diversified. In my mutual funds, I hold large cap companies, small to mid cap, and international funds. And for those who want to know, I'll leave the tickers here if you want to pause the video. Next are REITs, which make up 7% of my portfolio. Real estate investment trusts are my only exposure to real estate. These are companies that own tons of land that corporations rent from. For example, some of Reality Income's tenants include Walmart, Walgreens, FedEx, Dollar General, and CVS. They are obligated to give back most of their profit to shareholders, so they pay high dividends. They also have a low correlation to the stock market, so they are good for diversification. Here are the tickers I invest in if you're interested. The largest type of investment for me are individual stocks, which make up 55% of my portfolio. This is spread across 21 different companies, and I'll list my biggest holdings right here for you. Honestly, 55% of my portfolio in individual stocks is a little bit too concentrated for me because I'm in no way a genius investor. But if you're just beginning, I would mainly be positioned in safer investments like mutual funds and ETFs. And then we have crypto, which is the smallest part of my portfolio, coming in at just 2%. And honestly, guys, I don't understand crypto that much, so I won't invest a ton into it until I understand it better. This is just kind of a fun diversification thing. My position is spread out between Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, and Polkadot. And at max, I want this to make up 5% of my portfolio. A good rule of thumb is don't invest in things you don't understand, so I'm kind of a bad example here, but it is just a really small allocation in my portfolio. Okay, now that you've seen my portfolio, we're gonna go over how I built this and how you should get started. Alright, step 1, and this is kind of obvious, but you need to get a job. Whether this is through the summer or through the school year too, you need to start making money. I worked at Taco Bell for 3 years, and that is where the majority of my $20,000 came from. So just figure out some way that you can make money during high school and college. Step 2 is budget and track your expenses. This is a necessity for everyone that is earning and spending money. If you are not keeping track of your expenses, you have no idea what is going in and what is going out. I think tracking your expenses is like giving yourself a raise because you become aware of where your money is being spent. I think this really helped me in the beginning because I knew exactly where my money was being spent and where I was investing my money. I don't think you can start investing until you realize where your money is going. Also, a little side note, I'm going to make a video about how to budget / what are the best budgeting apps. So if that's something you want to see, let me know in the comment section. And if you have any other video ideas, I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you could hit that like button so this video reaches more people, I would really appreciate it. Step 3 is to buy diversified index funds. If you don't know anything about investing, you shouldn't be putting all your money in individual stocks. Index investing is the exact opposite of that. This is investing in mutual funds or ETFs that are made up of hundreds or even thousands of companies. There are different types of indexes that track different metrics. For example, some of them only invest in small cap companies, while others invest in larger companies. Some are only focused on international companies, while others, like the S&P 500, is focused almost entirely on American companies. Everyone, including Warren Buffett, suggests index investing because this is what the S&P 500 index has done in the last 30 years. It's up 895%, which means that if you invested $10,000 30 years ago, it would be worth more than $170,000 today. So buy yourself some index funds. Step number 4 is to create a recurring investment routine. This is really important because you're going to forget to invest, or you'll come up with an excuse for why you can't afford it. But if you're on an automatic routine, that money will come out of your bank account and automatically invest, so you don't even think about it. For me, this was the key to being consistent at investing because I would just set a goal for what I wanted to invest every month and that money would automatically move. This way, I was paying myself before I could even spend any of my money. Step 5 is to do nothing. This means that when the market goes down like it is right now, you don't sell out of fear. Just keep consistently investing. Focus on how to increase your income. Don't worry about what the stock market is doing. You are a long way from retiring, so volatile conditions in the short term shouldn't steer us away from our long-term mindset. You might think that $20,000 is a ton of money, or it might just be a small amount to you. It doesn't matter. If you have $0 invested right now, you need to start today to get that money working for you. Waiting just a few years dramatically affects your results. I'll show you a quick simulation of what it looks like if you started investing as a 20-year-old compared to a 25-year-old compared to a 35-year-old. Alright, so here's a Roth IRA calculator, and we'll look at the 20-year-old first. They'll begin with a balance of $0 and then contribute $6,000 every year and earn a 9% return. And then we'll have the retirement age be 60, and then we can see that their balance is $2.21 million by the time of retirement, which is pretty impressive. And now we'll look at the 25-year-old who waits 5 years to start investing and contributes the max amount and earns a 9% return. In this scenario, they only have $1.41 million compared to the $2.2 million that the 20-year-old would have earned. Alright, so now let's look at the 35-year-old who puts off investing for 15 years, earns the same amount of return, and contributes the max amount. They would only have $554,000 by the time of retirement compared to the $2.21 million that the 20-year-old would have had. This is why this is so important, guys. Get that portfolio going as soon as possible. And remember, make some money, make a budget, buy index funds, automate your investing, and then wait and do nothing. If you do that, you are really doing your future self a huge favor. And if you found this video helpful, please leave me a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.